night. It's live improv from New York City and around the country and around the world. We have a great cast tonight. Joining me, I'm Scotty Watson. We have Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing?
Lovely.
And Annica, also in New York. Hi, Annica.
Hi.
And Jackie. Hello, Jackie. Completely unrelated. Josh. Hello, Josh. How are you doing? And EJ. All right, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to meet some very interesting people, not from New York. As a matter of fact, this is the inhabitants of a very, very small town called Goon River. The Goon River is going through some changes, as a lot of small towns are. So what is a big change? What's a big change in the life of a small town? Anybody can shout it out. Big change for a small town.
They've got Wi-Fi.
They're getting Wi-Fi. Oh my goodness. You know what? Wi-Fi comes to Goon River, and I'll tell you something. The people of Goon River are good people and nice people, but they're opinionated people. Whether they're for it or against it, nobody's neutral on the subject of Wi-Fi coming to Goon River. All right, now we're going to meet the nice people of Goon River. And once we meet them, of course, they'll be able to put their names into the into their squares. Because right now we have a bunch of random actor names. I don't even know. I'm so sorry, but it says Amanda, but I know your name's not Amanda. What's your name?
My name is Mabel Staunce.
Mabel Staunce. Nice to meet you, Mabel. What did you do in Goon River?
Well, I am the town historian / librarian.
Oh, historian. That's very okay. Mabel Staunce, the librarian. And now tell me, are you for or against Wi-Fi coming to Goon River?
Well, sir, I do not appreciate it because I don't want those little ghost waves going through and looking at all my information. I don't trust it.
But ghost waves, Mabel?
Ghost waves.
Librarians are usually pretty scientific folk.
I don't know how to explain it to you. There are little like miniature ghosts that float through the air and they steal your information. Okay,
I believe you. It's nice meeting you. Mabel. Next up, we have, it says Annica D, but I know that's not your real name. What is your name?
My name is Rochelle Hood.
Nice.
Thank you. And I own the ladies' lingerie store on Main Street.
I was in ladies' lingerie for a while there, but nobody ever noticed.
Oh my goodness. You are naughty boy.
I'm sorry. Well, where did you say it was?
On Main Street.
Right on Main Street. Oh, how risque of Goon River. Now, may I ask you, were you for or against the big Wi-Fi?
You know, I've been struggling with this question for the last day and a half, and I guess I have to say I'm for it.
Oh, you're for it?
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm an old-fashioned girl, but these times are changing, and we just got to go with the flow. We got to woke up and all that.
Oh, I agree with you. Could not agree with you more. Well, thank you, Rochelle. It's really nice. Lovely to meet you. Your name tag says Josh, but I know that's not right. What's your name?
I'm Doug McDougall.
Doug McDougall? Oh, wow. That sounds like a real Canadian name. Doug McDougall. What did you do? What's your occupation, Doug?
I'm the massage therapist.
Everybody's got nothing like a good massage.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you have a shop, or was it just...
Oh yeah, I have a shop. I live over the shop, but I have the shop.
Great, that sounds great.
Very professional.
Of course. I wouldn't expect you just, running around and massaging people in the park. That'd be weird.
No. Well, that's nice too, but that's not my thing.
Now, were you for or against Wi-Fi?
I was really, really in favor. I really pushed for this because there's so much out there in the world that I want to know about. There's herbal medicine and naturopathy and all kinds of things. And you go to the library and they don't have anything on this stuff.
Wow.
So I need the internet to connect with the world.
Here's a great piece of advice. Everything on the internet is true. You can take it as absolutely true. That's
I've
fact.
heard that. I've heard that.
Yeah,
Yes.
So your nameplate says Jackie, and I know that's not right. What's your real name?
I'm Elaine Silverado.
Elaine Silverado. What a lovely name.
Thank you. I was the school teacher at Fells Junior High Middle School.
I'm sorry, which junior high?
Fells.
Fells.
F-E-L-S. Fells Junior High Middle School.
1L in Fells.
That was the gentleman's name.
Oh, all right. Because it would be ironic, I think, if it was misspelled. Okay. And were you for or against Wi-Fi in the town?
I believe in education, but I was opposed to the Wi-Fi because I knew that young, tender minds would soon have cell phones and things that would distract them from my lessons.
Sure. That's always, yeah, you don't want them to be distracted.
Yeah.
All right, then. You're against the Wi-Fi. And finally, I know it says EJ, but what's your real name?
Shirley Balance.
Shirley Balance.
Like the scales.
No, I understand. Absolutely. What did you do, Shirley Balance?
I was the town mediation specialist.
I knew it had something to do with that name.
Did you? Very funny. People
Well-
have made jokes all my life about that.
It's interesting that you are the mediator because in this town, we already had 2 people for Wi-Fi and 2 people against Wi-Fi. It'd be interesting to hear what you thought about it.
Well, on the one hand, I would like to say that knowledge is power. Bring on the Wi-Fi. But on the other hand, people might be tempted to indulge in online mediation, which, as we all know, is very dangerous. It's a gateway to disaster.
Oh, online mediation is bad. So you're both for and against Wi-Fi.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So some of you were for this and some of you were against this. I want to talk about what you did the day before they actually flipped the switch and gave the town Wi-Fi. I believe that was down at the telephone switching station where they just flipped the switch, turned on the wires and the knobs and the tubes. So let's dive right in. I'd like to start with you, Doug. Well, what were you doing the day before they turned on the Wi-Fi? And you were for the Wi-Fi. So who did you see? What did you do and who did you see?
Well, I have a very fortunate position, so to speak,
Sure.
because often the other people in town are laying on a table in front of me, pretty much naked. And that gives you a good opportunity to talk to people. And so I was spending the day massaging and talking and slowly trying to convince the undecided, which is Shirley, and those opposed, to
Right.
convince them of the importance of doing this.
So can you tell me one name, maybe somebody that you massaged that day?
Yes. Well, so the toughest case was Shirley, because she argued both sides of the question, which
Yeah.
made it just took forever. Now, I have to say, she was very relaxed by the end of that session,
Sure.
but she still hadn't made up her mind.
Well, let's go to Shirley right now. Now, I understand, Shirley, the day before you got a massage from Doug, but what else did you do? Who else did you see?
Well, I went for a walk in nature after Doug, just to cool my tortured brain. The toing and froing was so bad for my chakras, and my third eye, and it was probably time for another pill. So I took a couple of pills in the fields and really took a nap. I saw Elaine go by. She's a very delicate soul, Elaine.
Well, then let's talk to Elaine. Now, Elaine, I understand that while Shirley was passed out in a field, napping, passed out, right, in a field, that you were meandering by. So what did you do the day before Wi-Fi? Who did you see?
Well, I saw any number of people because I passed through the downtown on the way to the PTA meeting. So I saw the lingerie store where Rochelle was, and
Right.
I said hello to the town historian, Mabel, and actually I even said a hello to Doug, but I was on my way to the PTA meeting because I wanted the parents to know that if we brought in Wi-Fi and made it available to our tender young minds, that they would be distracted from their studies.
Sure. Okay. I see where you're coming from. Now, you saw a couple of people. I'm going to go to Mabel, because if you were going to a PTA meeting, the librarian, it's probably connected there. Mabel, what did you do the day before Wi-Fi, and who did you see?
Well, I pretty much saw everyone. I was helping out with some literature for the PTA meeting. So, yes, Elaine and I exchanged pleasantries. Really, I was minding my own business more than anything else, and just praying that our youth were not corrupted by the Wi-Fi.
By the Wi-Fi. Yes. You want to be, the corruption of the Wi-Fi can be quite terrible. And Rochelle, finally, what were you doing the day before Wi-Fi? And who did you see? Oh, go ahead.
No, it was a very frustrating, tense day. There was a flurry of activities in the lingerie shop. People came in, a wedding party came in, and people were running around and arguing. They were arguing about, should we get the Wi-Fi, not get the Wi-Fi? And everybody was in uproar. I had to leave and trust my assistant to take over, and I had to take a few sips of wine to calm my nerves.
And you probably ended up in the same field as Shirley did. Speaking of Shirley, we really want to know what ended up happening the day that they switched on the Wi-Fi, because they switched on the Wi-Fi down at the Bell Telephone office. This might be unpleasant for you to talk about, but Shirley, what happened to you?
So what I'm hearing you say, Mr. Watson, is you'd like me to share with you,
Yes, please.
how I felt that day and what happened to me.
Yes.
Well, they did. They switched that switch, and all of a sudden there was bings, bongs, whips and tootles going off all over the place. And a thing called YouTube came up in the town square. And we all saw, well, unmentionables, women parading around in lingerie that Rochelle's never even seen the like of.
Wow.
Yes. So I'm of a mind it was a roaring success.
But I believe something unfortunate happened to you after they switched it on.
In the excitement,
Yes.
I mislaid my purse. I think it was stolen.
What happens?
Well, everything's in there. Everything. The notes on everybody's personal business.
Yes.
The mediator I must be au fait with. But worse than that, my medication's missing.
Oh, dear. So your medications went missing.
Yes.
And did that lead to anything particularly unfortunate happening to you personally?
Well, my memory, I was going this way and that way, banging into people.
Yes.
Frankly, I lost my mind.
Oh, then surely I don't know if you know this. Then if you've lost you died that day.
Oh no!
Right there.
I knew something was weird.
Oh. All right then.
Must have been an overdose or a withdrawal symptom of something. I'm trying to be balanced about this.
Oh, so there she was, right there in Main Street, and there was a big screen showing YouTube, and Shirley Last time she was flat out, it was in a field, and now there she was right in the middle of town. How awful. Now, I believe that the next person on the scene was Elaine. You found Shirley right then and there. What happened to you?
Amazingly, my students convinced me that this was an historical event. And so they wanted to go for the switching. And I followed along. I'm the teacher after all. And I had a very, very tall stack of books.
Sure.
Because I wanted to put this into context. And so I was running after the students with this pile of books.
Oh, dear.
And who would have expected Shirley to be lying on the ground?
Almost everyone.
I tripped over her, smashed my head.
Oh, those books would have given you a nice. Oh, that's awful. I'm so sorry to hear that. Now, I understand that, Doug, you were immediately on the scene where the two of them had just died. What happened to you?
So here's the thing. I went to the town square to see the grand opening.
Sure.
And there was all these sort of scantily clad people being shown. And of course, that doesn't impress me, given my line of work. I mean, anything that Rochelle sells, I've seen from the other side, so to speak. So I decided I would get out of here and I would just get my own computer and go research about sort of pseudoscientific theories that I think are so fascinating.
Sure.
But I needed a quiet place. So I grabbed the computer, this big old computer, and I was walking out, and I was really shocked to see Elaine and Shirley lying there.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, of course, I'd been massaging people all day. So my hands were oily.
Oh,
and
no.
With that shock, I let go of the computer. It bumped me right on the head.
Oh, my goodness.
And I fell down and hit a rock. And then that's the last thing I know, I was here.
So you ended up dying between a rock and a hard drive.
So true.
Oh, that is sad. That is sad. All right. Now, I believe that the next person on the scene was Rochelle. Rochelle, everybody was enjoying scantily clad people on a screen. And you were the next person on the scene there with Doug dead and Elaine. And what happened to you?
You know, it was an awful day. And as I said before, I needed some sustenance. So I got a bottle of vodka and, was taking care of myself. And then I just sort of slid down to the ground. And I'm not exactly sure, but I heard a voice say, Rochelle, are you ready? And I said, yes. And the next thing I knew, gone.
You went to the square where everybody else was and drank yourself to death?
Apparently, it was my time. You can't argue with these things. When it's your time, you have to go.
I guess so. And after a fifth, I think that's time to go. Okay, no worries. No, the poor thing.
It was my time. It was just my time.
Now, Mabel, I had hoped against hope, being a librarian and keeping to yourself, keeping those quiet ways, that you had somehow survived. What happened to you that day? Oh, no.
It was really hard for me. I looked around. I was just walking back to the library. I see all these corpses of my former friends and associates. Then I see the computer and I think to myself, well, what a waste. Obviously, Doug's not going to need it now. So I go to take the computer.
Sure.
And I mean, it must have fallen into some of Rochelle's vodka, because the next thing I know, I am electrocuted and I fly sky high.
Electrocuted by oh, that is the saddest thing. Well, first, I know that it was very difficult to tell this story. So I want to thank you. And I want to thank you for watching Improv on a Friday night. Hey, it's nice you join us. There's going to be more Improv coming at you in just a moment, so you stick around.